The current communication and speech is a little bit generic, as I say. We need specific engagement. Besides the president, the line ministers must be on ground, must involve cultural leaders, must involve other stakeholders, including the affected persons. So that, as we say, if you observe well, you realize that we have landslides now. It's a common problem, it's a common occurrence. Bugisu, Kasese, Kabale, I saw in Kisoro the other time. It needs very, very political engagement of various sectors, and the president, yes, he may speak generically, but I know actors within those sectors might go an extra mile to ensure that it is meaningful engagement, environmental degradation addressed, so that we do not have the vice of landslides.
That household economy is what we need to fight if there's any special approach which needs to be tackled. We all know the U-boats has been giving us statistics, actually being the most poorest. Yet we are doing a lot of production of food. Then you begin wondering, why are we poor? So we need a lot of intentional program which looked at mindset change of our people, at the same time supporting them with all what it takes. For example, our people used to dig with the ox plow and oxen. If we can have each household being given oxen and ox plow, because we still have issues with the government, the issue of compensation.
But then he also talked about national resource mobilization, and then emphasized the 3 T's among the others that he talked about. Now the big question is, how do some of these issues or themes that he was talking about relate to some of these themes that affect us here at the lower level in the Acholi sub-region? That is a question that we are looking out for. There are immense issues. The joint Acholi Sub-Regional Leaders Forum, for example, talks about 27 critical issues affecting the Acholi sub-region. Amongst them, high poverty levels. Acholi sub-region's poverty levels do not need mentioning. It's about 60 plus, one of the highest in the region. Whether or not the PDM that the president talked about is a silver bullet to solving that problem, that is something we wait to see. But then the second issue that we've been witnessing here at the local level has been issues of security, especially border securities around Namur and some other areas, even around Namuru. These were issues we were waiting to hear the president talk about. He talked about security at the national level for national security. But we wanted to hear him talk about security at these levels.
Say is that where government has failed is they have really written very good policies. We've spent money as a country to send our members of parliament, policymakers and other stakeholders in this country who make decisions for this country, who plan for this country. We've sent them on expensive benchmarking trips. They have come back with good knowledge, put them to paper, come out with practical, possible policies in place, but none of those policies are implemented to the dot. It is very ashamed that some countries like Rwanda pick up policies from Uganda and go and implement. They simply wait, they don't even send people on benchmarking trips. Then when they get these policies, they simply act on it. Countries like Rwanda, they simply get policies from Uganda, paste it to their system and place, because they know Uganda has invested money in it and the policies work. But the problem is, they also understand that we have failed to put these policies to practice.
Where the president always he always talks about on the surface is tackling corruption. Corruption has eaten the marrow of all Ugandans at all levels. You hear corruption in church, you hear you get corruption on the roadside sellers. Yeah, corruption has far-reaching consequences. As you know, like government has money, it sends money to districts. They have bought brand new machineries, high-powered machines, graders, wheel loaders, tipper trucks, but these things are underutilized and they are also misused. How can a district which has all that equipment start crying that they can't work on their roads? Yet, in the same vein, they are buying vehicles to move around. This is where the crisis is. Government needs to set up a policy to see that we fight corruption from our homes up to the biggest echelons of power like Parliament and State House.